What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. All right. I have an interesting young man here who reached out to me because, he's a college student and he's recognizing some truths in his life, as well as some things maybe that are going on within his country, Tanzania, that, he's feeling that, hey, I'm seeing our people kind of go a little bit to the left, if you will, when it comes to giving a lot of respect towards the West and not themselves. All right, brother, introduce yourself, please.
Yes, so my name is Gilbert Malisa, and I am a university student here in Dar es Salaam at the RD University.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
Now, how long you been in school?
Well, I'm currently at my second year of studies out of 4 years.
Okay, and what you studying?
I'm taking a bachelor degree of science in real estate, finance, and investment.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes, sir.
So what do you want to do with that?
Well, I want to be a developer once I complete my studies, start developing properties for
Yeah.
both for the locals and for the diaspora or for anyone who wishes to come to settle in Tanzania.
Y'all got to excuse me up here, all right? Brother needs his water because it's nice and hot today like I like it. Okay, you reached out to me because you had some questions.
Yes.
You had some concerns.
Exactly.
What is your biggest concern as a youth in Tanzania?
Yes, sir.
What's the youth's, I guess, yours or even your friends or you here on the campus that is going on?
Well, the big issue about us Tanzanians, especially students or anyone really, is that from the beginning or from our early childhoods, we are almost taught that the Europeans are always the masters, are always the superior than us, you see. Doesn't matter in education, in real life, everywhere. We are always told that the Europeans are, they are always superior than us. And
They actually tell you this, teach you this, or is it one of those where, the images,
yes, the image.
they always referring to the West College, better
Exactly.
education.
Yeah.
So that they don't come out of their mouth and say they're better, but
No.
these...
Sometimes they go and say they're better.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, and in our classes, teachers they'll even tell you that they'll tell you point blank like the Europeans are more smarter than you. You cannot compete with them. You see, and stuff.
I've
like
heard that from other countries too.
Yes.
I've heard that, and it's sad.
Very sad.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it makes you feel very inferior. First of all, yes, makes you feel like it's an end game. You cannot compete with them anymore. We are not like motivated to to strive and be better than them. No, we are motivated to continue staying down to them and worshiping them. You see.
Wow. So, what is your plan of attack against that? How do you see yourself? I mean, you're in school, college,
Yes.
and do you believe that?
No.
You don't believe that? How do you see yourself in the scheme of the Western world, the European? How do you see that? Yeah.
Well, I take a lot of my time trying to educate my fellow students and my fellow friends and family about the black excellence and how we are the chosen race and all of that stuff. But most of them they're like, nah, we don't believe you, and they'll believe a European more better than they believe us when you tell them that we are superior than them. They cannot believe you that when you tell them that.
The mind games has played a lot in the Afro psychology.
Yes.
And it's sad that, a lot of our people believe that they are inferior and the Europeans are superior.
Exactly.
And I've seen it time and time again. People who get their education, they think they are better than even their own brothers and sisters who don't have
Exactly.
that degree, or if they got to get to the West, they believe it's the best.
Yes.
They think that, if they can strive and arrive to a level of meeting close to who the Europeans are, they think they have achieved something.
Yes.
Now, as far as you are concerned,
Yes.
you see these things happening, you heard these things growing up, you're in school, you try to educate your family, your friends, and all that right there. So what is your answer? What is your solution? I mean, How do you foresee it? You're the youth. You mean you're the future coming.
Yes. I think the solution here, or among the solution, is we should be able to control our own narrative in terms of how we should think of ourselves or how our fellow Africans should think of themselves. Because, for example, nowadays most of us are influenced by the Hollywood movies, the American movies. A lot of that. We're even seeing that there's a soft introduction of this LGBTQ concepts in our culture. You see?
Yeah.
It's through the movies, through the American movies, you see, and the American culture. And the other thing about the Tanzanian or African education is that the more you get educated, you see, it's the more you become stupid. It's the more you are more inclined to the American standards or the European standards, and you abandon your own culture. You see, and that really has to change. But we have one little advantage to our side, but we don't tend to use it. For example, in the area of movies, for example, these American movies, because most of the Tanzanians, we don't understand English, you see.
Yeah.
So the only way which we can enjoy watching an American movie, it's if it's translated to Kiswahili. So there's these guys which call themselves DJs. They take the American movies, they translate into Kiswahili, and then they distribute to the population, you see. But the only thing is that they translate it the way it is. It does not matter if they don't care how the African was portrayed in the movie. They just translate it the way it is, and they feed it to the African population. So this continues to fuel the white supremacy, or the Africans seeing themselves as inferior. So I think the solution to that, I think these guys should be educated in such a way that even if they translate these movies, they should translate them in a way that, or in a manner that it portrays an African as a superior person, as a person who understands themselves, as a person who is more civilized, and not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yes, and they should also, because this guy is like they are re-editing the movie, you see. And I also think they should remove part of the movies which do not align with our culture, the African culture.
I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you on that. I believe there should be things in place
Exactly.
that when you are allowing, because other countries do it. Other countries,
Like
they
China.
filter,
Yes.
they filter
Yes.
things that's coming in that are corrupting their youth.
Exactly.
China just did, they abolished certain shows that were on TV that had these feminine men.
Exactly.
And they did not want that to be portrayed, so the youth would not follow suit.
Exactly.
And so Africa should be at least filtering a lot of the information that is coming in through the media, through the music, because I'm telling you all, I've seen it already in some of these African countries and these cities, that the youth are changing and behaving like the Western world.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna tell you, America's sick. The black people in America are sick. It is a disease that is happening that you all don't see. Y'all don't see the effects of hip-hop music. You don't see the effects of what the movies are doing. Y'all only see the glam. Y'all see the materialistical things that exist on the screen, but you don't see the reality.
Exactly.
So you're hitting on something there,
Yes.
Now, in Tanzania,
Yes, sir.
I know I've spoke to a few of the youth, and it does seem as though that many are aspiring to go to the Western worlds for education.
Exactly.
Do you aspire to go to America or Europe or UK?
No.
No.
I think Africa it's a very virgin continent. It's full of resources, full of opportunities. So I cannot imagine what I'll do in Europe, or what I will enjoy in Europe that I cannot enjoy in Africa, you see.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather stay in Africa, play my part in developing the continent and arising the consciousness of our people, so that we can move forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, that's important, and I hope y'all understand what he just said, because, if the youth are willing to push themselves to limits, I call it to greatness, really, you don't need to go to the West. I mean, I've said this time and time again, I've met many of millionaires in Africa who never left Africa.
Yes.
And they started off poor, dirt poor. But they had the mindset, they had the discipline, They had the endurance to overcome adversity and bring the creativity out of them to put themselves in where they are today.
Exactly.
Now, people disagree and say that, there are things that the West have that Africa don't have. That's true. But there's a lot of things that Africa has that the West don't have.
Exactly.
Number one, Africa is the richest continent in the world.
Yes.
And I was sharing with you about the education because you're taught that the West has the best education.
Yes.
And I had to break it down to them, family.
We
Education,
were meant to think that the West has the best education.
yeah.
Yes.
Education is nothing more than information. That's all it is.
Exactly.
You can learn anything about anything, and that means you just got educated. We think going to learn school books make you better because you went over to the West to learn about school books when you're being indoctrinated into a mindset of behaving and living certain ways beyond what the African culture is that most people will sell out for.
Exactly.
They'll go, you had mentioned about you wish there were programs that, that the youth can go, but yet had to come back
Yes.
and bring that
Yes.
that experience, bring the education, what have you, to help
Expertise.
out.
Yes.
Go ahead and share about that.
Yes, I was thinking about in Africa, this whole concept of, some Africans go to the European country to acquire education so that they can come to help their fellow Africans. It really does not apply here in Africa because most of them, they'll actually end up living there or, preferring the European standards of living rather than coming back to Africa and helping it, you see. Or even worse, if they come, they'll try their best to Europeanize our country, you see. They'll make our country abandon itself from its own roots and cultures and, they'll make it to be more European-like style, you see. And this we cannot allow this to happen to our country because it's very bad. Or the other thing that I was thinking is that how about the population of Africans who are educated, who are away from the African continent are very many. How about we could take them and bring them to our country to different sectors, as you were saying before, and help them develop those sectors. For example, sectors in technology, sectors in agriculture, a lot of sectors which require some expertise, which are more developed than us. How about we could take those Africans and bring them here and, put them to different sectors and inspire development?
In certain areas in America, there are those who have the control. I've been to different cities, towns. I've been to all 50 states in America.
Okay.
I've been to states where, there are those who have the control that don't want new money coming in, new ideas coming in, because they're the ones who have the money and control it.
Yes.
They don't want new development because they know they will lose their power.
Yes.
And this is how it is in even in Africa in certain countries, is that a lot of these leaderships don't want to lose their power.
Exactly.
They don't want to give it up. They don't want new ideas coming in. They don't want other people from outside, unless it's the European or China, man. But if it's Black Americans or if it's African diaspora, it ain't about trying to come and build a country because they fear losing what they have.
They fear losing their power, their control.
Losing the control.
Yes.
So I don't know the answer to any of that. And I used to be hard up on Africans leaving Africa to go to Western worlds, but I had to come to a place and realize no man owns any country. It should be a free world to where anybody can go where they want to go.
Exactly.
And if you feel as though that your place ain't for you, so be it, because there's somebody else to step in your shoes and will take for whatever it is that was left them by those who left and utilize it and build off of it. So if you want to leave Africa and you got land, send me an email and give it to me. I'll do something with it. If you got property and you don't want to be in Africa and you want to go to the Western world, email me. I'll take the land and I'll work it. And guess what? You can have America. And I'll guarantee you, you'll be begging for what you gave up. You'll be begging for it back. Most definitely. So,
Yes, sir.
are you married?
No, sir, I'm not.
No kids?
No kids.
Oh, man, you in a good place right now. Because it's just you. I mean, you're the only one you're responsible for.
Exactly.
Enjoy. How old are you?
And I'm 23 years old.
23 years old.
Yes, sir.
Young college student. Hey, he might be a potential for one of my daughters. I don't know. You never know. But so you made mention about wanting to do development, and you want to do something for the African Americans and those in the diaspora, those diasporans who are also in the UK, Europe, and Canada. You want to do what?
Yes. So the thing I want to do is that to develop or to create more real estate properties which will be more affordable for them, so that when they come here, they can, they can really afford the standards of living in Tanzania and really start living freely in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So amongst one of my plans is to develop even before or after I finish my degree is to develop more and more properties around the country. Yeah, for both for the locals and for the diaspora also.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do you got in closing? What would you say to the youth of Africa, in Africa? What do you think the youth should be focused on, working towards for the continent?
I think the youth have a lot of potential in terms of developing the continent, and I really think that we should begin to think positively about ourselves as Africans. You see, these Western narratives that are fed on us, they are really not good to us in terms of development. So I think the youth should really start thinking in terms of themselves, in terms of black excellency, and we should see each other as brothers and as people who have one destination and who wish to see Africa develop even more and more than it is today. So, and I really think the youth should also take time to appreciate their history and the love for their continent and the love for their brothers, and really take time to work very, very hard. And they should also understand that this war or this fight, it's for us ourselves. It's not for anyone else to help us. There's no European who would help us, no Chinese man, no Indian, no anyone who would help us fight our own oppression. So I think that's it. This our fight is a solo fight. That's what I would say.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
The war in today is not even about the Europeans, Chinamen, and all that. The war is within.
Yes, sir.
Once we realize who we are as a people, and we stand up and we raise our heads up, and we have a self-esteem about ourselves, and we look upon ourselves as being the original, the chosen ones, then is when things will change. Until then, I think Africa will continue to be on its knees, continue to have its hand out, and always will be looking up to the Western world as a master.
Yes.
Always. You mentioned something about the white Jesus before we turned on the camera.
Yes, sir.
What was that you was mentioning about that?
Well, this whole concept of white Jesus is very, very harmful for our kids, for our generation, because the thing about white Jesus is that it makes you think that even God is white, you see. So it makes you think that even when you're praying to a white God, or when you see a white person, you compare or relate himself or equate him to God, which makes us feel more and more inferior, and makes us to see the white people as more superior to us, you see. And not only that, not only with the white Jesus, in Tanzania in particular, most of the things are very whitewashed. Most pictures of our leaders whitewashed. Most cartoons are whitewashed. Everything in Africa is almost whitewashed, you see. And the reason for that is that when a Tanzanian kid, a young Tanzanian kid, or a young African kid sees these pictures, plus the image they have or the idea they have about God, what do you think it does to their mental health?
Yeah.
It really destroys them mentally completely, and they'll never see themselves as superior. You see, they'll always see themselves as inferior.
Yeah.
Which is very wrong.
Well, I appreciate you, sharing your whole perspective to the people. Yes. And you're hitting on a lot of things. You got a lot of growth to go through. I do too.
Yes,
and I believe that we're going to overcome. Okay. We shall, because it's just breaking down the walls of this being submissive to an authority that should not even be.
So,
And that once we rise up, it's all good. So with that, family, this is your man. This is your,
man.
not your boy. Go black to Africa.